Well, Saturday took Team RTR to Carbondale, Kansas for the first Kansas Region SCCA Rallycross of 2020. We showed up in force with 3 Toyotas and 1 big-ass Lincoln. The course wasn't sloppy, but it was a bit muddy and loose on the course walk. So the Alpha Tire, with a Y, knobby mud tires, came out on the drive wheels for Ian and Ryan both. The first heat was RTR-tastic with the FX16, that's me. Richard in the RT4 Tercel. And Keegan living the life of luxury in his rolling couch of a town car. So Richard and I both got off to quick starts, and it was apparent right away that our recent upgrades were going to serve us pretty well. Richard had a literal pile of competition in modified all-wheel drive, from home-built turbocharged Subarus all the way up to expensively modified Audis. He blew past them in the morning runs. With the low weight and his clean driving being his main advantages. The RT4 Tercel is now very close to being dialed in, and Richard's blistering runs were all done on snow tires. Just imagine, if you will, what he'll do when he runs his insane-looking Alpha tires with a Y. The RXFX of yours truly was short on competition for the day, but they made up for it with their quality of driving. So the car recently got a few decent upgrades of its own: lightweight battery, custom-built limited slip differential, and also running the extremely knobby Alpha tires with a Y. Those tires dug in and they did not let go. I surprised even myself and managed a few of the quickest runs in the morning sessions. Sadly, on my last run of the morning, I missed a gate after a course change, and that cut my lead down by 10 seconds. It's situations like this that I'm trying to train my way out of any way I have to train for them.
Oh, yep. 2 seconds.
Keegan rumbled his Lincoln around in 70s era luxury. Though it's never really fast by racing standards, he always goes faster and faster, and it's always incredibly fun to watch. And then it was Ryan's turn in modified rear-wheel drive to take on a similar mountain of competition as what Richard faced. He had some issues staying away from our little orange rubber enemies, but he managed to stay close to the competition. And by the end of the morning, he was in second place behind the baddest bug around, a 73 Super Beetle driven by Doug Liebman. Lunch was served and was talked, and by the time we were done, it was almost 2 p.m. A long morning full of cars breaking down, breaking axles, blowing oil by their rings. It was a long morning of that and changing of the course, and it just took the time right out of the clock. So the powers that be cut the entire middle out of the awesome W-shaped course that we had been running, and now it was just an all-out sprint. Richard had to battle to hold his own against some higher horsepower cars who were hitting some ridiculous speeds at the end of the first section. But the 4AG kept all 4 tires churning, and when the dust settled, Richard ran clean all the way to a first-place victory in modified all-wheel drive. We think it's the first of many to come for the RT4. Thankfully, I didn't miss any gates in the RXFX in the afternoon, but I didn't set any records either. I'd switched out the mud tires for my Max Sport gravel rally tires, as seen here, but it wasn't the right decision. The ground was not muddy anymore, but it was still very loose and silty. Lesson learned for the next time at this site. Regardless of my education, I still managed a first place in prepared front-wheel drive class and had a damn fine time doing it. Keegan made that big Lincoln move in the afternoon. He was holding down times that were very far below what should be expected of a giant land yacht. Fun it was, but victory will have to come for Keegan later, likely when he's driving a 7AGE powered Tercel. Why does the wind have to be so windy while I'm trying to film a video? I never film videos and the wind's blowing tables over. We swapped out workers and it was time for Ryan to let his rear end fly. Much dust was generated in his wake as he roared through with some of the fastest times in his class and run group for the afternoon, allowing him to bring home second place in modified rear-wheel drive. While the class victories were huge, the shocker of the day comes in the form of the overall fastest raw times. Now, this doesn't mean a ton considering that the course changes from group to group, but the stack of top 10 times from Saturday has 3 30-year-old plus Toyotas in it. That's saying something for the old brand and for Team RTR. Like our cars, seems that we're just getting better with age. So stupid. So our next event is in 2 weeks, back here on the Missouri side, June 14th at I-35 Speedway in Winston, Missouri. If it's wet, we may get another chance to break out the mud tires and take advantage of our low weight. If it's dry, we'll be back on the hard pack clay oval and we'll be searching for grip, trying to get it any way we can. Either way, it's always a good time when you're racing some old-ass Toyotas and possibly a Lincoln with your friends. We'll see you there.